The archaeologist's hands trembled as she lifted a tiny finger bone from a cave floor in Siberia. She had no idea she was holding the key to rewriting human history. That bone belonged to a 13-year-old girl. Her parents were from two entirely different human species, a Neanderthal mother, but Denisovan father. This discovery proved something extraordinary. Just 40,000 years ago, Earth was home to at least 4 kinds of humans, all alive, breathing, and crossing paths. Imagine Earth 50,000 years ago. You walk through a valley in Central Asia. You'd see Neanderthals hunting mammoths, Denisovans climbing mountains, tiny hobbits of Indonesia dodging Komodo dragons, and modern humans, our ancestors, just beginning their march toward global dominance. This wasn't fantasy. It was Tuesday. We weren't alone. For most of our history, multiple human species shared the Earth. Each was perfectly adapted to their world. Neanderthals survived ice ages. Denisovans thrived in extreme altitudes. The hobbits built tools, hunted pygmy elephants, and lived among dragons. But today, only Homo sapiens remain. So what happened? Let's start with the Neanderthals. They weren't brutish cavemen. They buried their dead with flowers. They wore jewelry made from eagle talons. They made art. Their brains were actually larger than ours. But around 40,000 years ago, they began disappearing. In 2024, scientists found a skeleton in France, a Neanderthal named Thorin. DNA showed Thorin's group had been isolated for over 50,000 years. No new people, no fresh genes, no contact. Their community was collapsing under extreme inbreeding. While modern humans formed networks, shared mates, and migrated, Neanderthals were fragmenting into dying pockets. And we brought something worse than competition: disease. Stanford researchers discovered that the diseases we carried from tropical Africa, malaria, sleeping sickness, were devastating to Neanderthals. Our immune systems were hardened by thousands of years of exposure. Theirs weren't. Disease spread silently through interbreeding. It's the same pattern we saw when Europeans arrived in the Americas. Entire civilizations collapsed from invisible invaders. The same likely happened to the Neanderthals. In the mountains of Asia, the Denisovans thrived. They were ghostly figures, known only from bone fragments, but their genetics told a powerful story. They had superhuman abilities. They could survive at altitudes of 15,000 feet. Today, only Tibetans and a few others can, thanks to Denisovan DNA. These mountain dwellers weren't isolated. Their genes stretch from Siberia to Southeast Asia and Melanesia. They crossed oceans, they explored, but around 30,000 years ago, they too disappeared. Some joined modern human groups. That 13-year-old girl with Neanderthal and Denisovan parents, she was a symbol of desperate alliances in collapsing worlds. On the island of Flores, hobbits, Homo floresiensis, stood just 3 feet tall, brains the size of chimpanzees, but they hunted, built tools, and survived nearly 1,000,000 years. Then, 50,000 years ago, they vanished, exactly when modern humans arrived. Why did we survive when they didn't? Because we absorbed them. Today, all of us carry their genes, 1 to 4% Neanderthal, up to 6% Denisovan. Even Africans carry DNA from unknown archaic humans. Their final gift was survival. Neanderthal DNA helps us fight viruses. Denisovan genes help us breathe in thin air. Mysterious DNA helps fight malaria. But why were we the last ones standing? Climate chaos. The world was swinging wildly between cold and warmth. Animals migrated. Habitats vanished. Neanderthals couldn't adapt fast enough. Denisovans were pushed out of their safe mountain homes. Hobbits met new predators, us. We weren't stronger. We weren't smarter. We were more connected. When one tribe failed, another helped. When food ran out, stories spread about where to find more. When disaster struck, we moved together. That flexibility, that unity saved us. By 28,000 years ago, the last Neanderthal fires went out. The Denisovans disappeared. The hobbits became myth, but they're not really gone. They live in our DNA. They whisper through our instincts. When you feel the need to explore dangerous places, that may be your Denisovan blood. When you protect your family in hard times, that's Neanderthal in you. When you solve a problem with creativity and limited tools, the hobbits live on in your mind. Their story is a warning. Climate, isolation, disease, competition, all the same threats we face today. The Neanderthals survived 300,000 years, until they didn't. The hobbits endured 1,000,000 years, until they were gone. We are the last humans, for now. The question is, what will we do with that responsibility?